Hi guys, it's Marty here from letsbuildwp.com, and in this video we're going to be covering how to build an amazing WordPress website from scratch in around 60 minutes or less. I'm going to cover the entire process, step by step, and in a way that anyone should be able to understand. Even if you have zero previous experience and you've only used your computer for sending emails and watching videos, you should still be able to follow along without any problems. And by the end of this quick tutorial, you'll learn how to create a professional WordPress website just like the one on screen now. I'm going to show you how to add this large image banner on the home page where we can have some call to action text and a button. Then when we click the button, it'll bring us to one of our pages. Then if we scroll down, on the home page we'll have our different blog posts, which can help us get more organic traffic from Google and keep our visitors entertained with new content. Our blog posts will have these awesome featured images, and when we click into our posts, we can have text, images, clickable links, and anything else we might need. There will also be a comment section at the bottom, so our visitors can leave us a reply or ask follow-up questions. Then if we scroll back up to the top, we'll see that we have our logo on the left and our navigation menu on the right. We're going to cover how to add different pages, like an About page, where we can tell our visitors more about what we do and what they can expect from our website. Then we'll also add a contact page with a form on it, so our visitors can get in contact with us if they need to, and when someone fills out the form, it's going to be sent to us as an email. I'll also show you how to change this section on the right side of our site, known as the sidebar, where we can have text and images, links to our posts, and a bunch of other cool stuff. But the website you build doesn't have to be exactly the same as this one. You can obviously use different pages and colors for yours, so I'm going to cover how to set up this website in a few different styles as well. So rather than this website, yours might end up looking more like this one, or this one, or one of these. Then another really cool thing about this website is that it's going to be 100% mobile friendly. So if I make my browser window a bit smaller here, this is what it would look like when being viewed on a tablet. And if I make it even smaller again, this is what our website would look like when being viewed on a mobile phone. This means that no matter what size screen our website's being viewed on, it's still always going to look awesome for anyone who sees it. So if this all looks good to you and you're ready to get started, this is how to build your very own WordPress website step by step in around 60 minutes or less. Okay, so there really are only 5 main steps we need to follow in order to build a WordPress website like the one we just saw. So first we need to register a domain name and web hosting for our site, and just to quickly explain what these are for anyone who doesn't know already, a domain name is usually the title of a website or business with www before it and .com after it, and it's what we type into our internet browser to visit a specific website. So for example, www.google.com. Or sometimes domains can end with different extensions like .co.uk or .net. Then web hosting is basically where the different files that make up our website will be stored online so people can access them when they type in our domain name. Then once we have our domain name and web hosting registered, we can move on to the second step, which is installing WordPress onto our new hosting account. This will only take about 60 seconds to do, and as WordPress is open source software, it's 100% free for us to use. Then the third step is installing and customizing our WordPress theme, which is going to change the entire look of our WordPress site and make it more like the website we're trying to create. And for this tutorial, we're going to be using an awesome free theme called Rocked. Then once we install and customize our theme, we're going to move on to step 4, which is adding our different pages and blog posts which we saw at the start. So that's things like our About page and Contact page, and the blog posts that appear on our home page. And then the fifth and final step is organizing our content, which we'll do by creating a custom navigation menu and changing the sidebar on the right hand side. Don't worry if any of this sounds confusing, by the way. It's all super easy, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do every step of the way. Then once we've completed these 5 main steps, we'll have our very own professional website up and running online. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is register a domain name and web hosting for our website. For this, I'd personally recommend using HostGator, which is a company I've been using for years now without any problems. And they're also who I currently use to host letsbuildwp.com. They're a great low-cost hosting company, which is exactly what we need. So if you're going to take my recommendation, we just need to open up our internet browser and go to hostgator.com. Then if we click web hosting at the top, this is going to show us the 3 different hosting plans that they offer. If you're only planning to build one website, go for the hatchling plan, or if you're going to build multiple websites, go for the baby plan. The business plan is an option, but to be totally honest with you, it comes with a whole load of added extras we probably won't need. Then once we've decided on which plan we're going to go for, we can just click Buy Now underneath. Then on this page, we're going to enter whatever we'd like to use as our domain name for our new website into this box, and then choose our domain extension on the right. So for me, I'm going to type WP Smartway, and then choose .com as my domain extension. Once we've entered our domain name, hopefully it comes up and says Added Primary, which means the domain's available, otherwise we're going to need to choose something else. Then underneath we have the option to purchase other domain extensions as well, but we can always come back and do this later, so I'm just going to skip it for now. Then here underneath we'll see it says Domain Privacy Protection, and this is a 100% optional add-on. I normally just uncheck this box myself and haven't had any problems to date, but if you want to keep the box checked, it'll be added to your bill. Then underneath it says Choose a Hosting Plan, and here we just want to double check that our package type is correct and choose a billing cycle. So for me, I choose the hatchling plan, so this is correct. And then under this, we can choose how often we'd like to pay for our hosting. So we can pay for it every month, every 6 months, or we can even pay for it every 3 years if we like. Now, we do save a bit more money the longer we buy at one time, so that might be something to think about. But as I'm just doing this for the tutorial, I'm going to choose monthly. Although if this was a real website I was building, I'd probably go for at least 6 months to benefit from the discount. Then underneath we just need to create a username and security pin for use with our HostGator account. And then under this we can enter our personal billing information. So that's things like our name, our email address and things like that. Then on the right hand side we can choose how we'd like to pay for our order, and we can choose either credit or debit card or PayPal. Then under this we'll see it says Add Additional Services, and these are a few paid services that HostGator offer. If you're lucky, they're still going to be running this offer where we get a free SSL certificate, which is pretty awesome. But for the rest of these, I normally just uncheck these boxes myself. But you can have a read through them, and if you like the look of any of them, just check the box and they'll be added to your bill. Then under this it says enter a coupon code, and I have a coupon to share with you guys that'll get us our first month web hosting for only 1 penny. So there might already be a coupon code entered in here worth 20 or 25% off, but instead of using this coupon, we're just going to delete it and instead enter CreateWP1. So that's the word create, the letters WP, and then the number 1. CreateWP1. Then when we click the validate button, we'll see that we're now getting our first month web hosting for only 1 penny. Now this is awesome if we're only going to be purchasing a few months hosting at a time, but if we're going to be ordering more than 6 months, there's an even better coupon we can use. If we use the coupon HOSTING30 instead, we can get 30% off our entire order, which can obviously work out a lot better if our bill's a little higher. If you're unsure, you can always try both coupons and see which one works out better for you. Then once we've entered our coupon code, underneath we just want to double check that our order's correct. Also be sure to note the 45-day money-back guarantee and the 24/7 phone, live chat and email support, which can be extremely helpful if we get stuck. Then as long as we're happy with everything here, we just need to scroll down to the bottom, check this box to agree to the terms of service, and then click the Checkout Now button. Okay, so that's me now back, and when I finished paying for my order, I was brought to a page saying thank you, and then redirected to the home page. So if you're following along at home, at this point we can close out of HostGator, and instead we want to open up our email inbox, where we should find some new emails from HostGator. These emails contain some pretty important information, so we should keep them safe. But for now, we're going to click into the email that says Your Account Info. And in this email, we'll see we have a link to our control panel, which is also known as the cPanel, our username and password for logging in, and some other information about our account. Here, we're going to click the link to our control panel, which is going to open up the cPanel login screen in a new tab. And now we just need to copy and paste our username and password from this email into the cPanel login screen. Then once we've got them pasted in, we can click Login. And this is us going to be logging into the HostGator cPanel, which is where we'll be installing WordPress. All we need to do is scroll down to where it says Software, and then click WordPress Manager. Then we need to click Install, and this is going to open up the WordPress setup screen. Then here we're just going to change this box labeled Protocol from HTTPS to HTTP. And then make sure our new domain name is selected in the box beside it. Then we can scroll down, and here we can change our site title and tagline using these two boxes. So I'm going to type Coffee Blog as my site title. And then for my tagline, I'm going to put a blog all about coffee. Then under this we can create the username and password we want to use for logging into our site. And then we can update our email address under this. Then once we're done here, we can change the language of our site if we need to, but I'm going to leave mine on English. Then we can skip over the optional plugins and themes they offer, as we can always install these later. Or if you do want them, just check the box beside any plugins you want installed and choose your theme. And then finally, we just need to click Install at the bottom and HostGator will start installing WordPress. This will usually take less than a minute. And once it's finished, it'll say congratulations, the software was installed. At this point, we can click the link beside where it says admin URL, which will open up the WordPress dashboard in a new tab. And this is where we can add any content or make any changes to our new WordPress site, which by the way is now live online. All we need to do to visit our new site is click our site title in the top left. And that's going to show us what WordPress looks like when we first install it. Now, sometimes they change up the default theme, so even if you didn't choose one during the installation, yours might look a little different than mine. But either way, it's just going to be some demo content and not much else. but it's ready for us to start customizing and adding content to. And then to get back to the dashboard, we just need to click our site title again in the top left. Okay, so now that we've got WordPress installed, the first thing we're going to do is delete the demo content before we start adding our own. To do this, we just need to click our site title in the top left to go back to our dashboard. And then if we click where it says Pages on the left, this is going to show us any pages we have on our site, which at the moment is just this demo page. So to delete this demo page, we're just going to hover our mouse over the page title and then click Trash. Then we're going to do the same thing for a demo blog post, only instead of pages on the left, we're going to click Posts. Then we can just hover our mouse over the post title and click Trash to delete it. And then finally, we're just going to delete a few plugins as well. So on the left hand side, we can click where it says Plugins, and that's going to show us any plugins we have installed. Just to quickly explain what they are, plugins are basically like extensions or add-ons for WordPress that let us add extra functionality to our site that WordPress doesn't come with by default. So that's things like contact forms and social share buttons. We're going to come back and cover how to use plugins later, but for now we're just going to remove the ones that came pre-installed. To do this, we just need to check this box at the top to select all of the plugins in the list. Then click where it says Bulk Actions and change this to Deactivate. Now if we click Apply, WordPress is going to deactivate all of the active plugins. Then once they've been deactivated, we're just going to check the same box again, click where it says Bulk Actions, and instead of Deactivate, we're going to choose Delete. Then if we click the Apply button, it's going to ask us if we're sure, and when we click OK, WordPress is going to remove all of the plugins from our site. And now that we've deleted the demo content and removed all of the pre-installed plugins, our WordPress site is now completely empty and ready for us to start customizing. So the next thing we're going to do is change our theme, which is going to change the entire look of our site and make it look more like the custom website we're trying to build. To do this, we're just going to click where it says Appearance in our left dashboard menu, and that's going to show us any themes we have installed. So as we can see, I'm currently using the 2017 theme, as this is the one that's active on my site. Although you might have different themes installed on your site, as they do occasionally change them. If we wanted, we could activate one of these other themes on our site, but to be honest, there are much better themes we can use. So to install a new theme, we just need to click up at the top where it says Add New. That's going to bring us to this page where we can search through all the different free themes on offer. For this tutorial, we're going to be using the Rocked theme, which I think is not only a great theme that works for a ton of different website styles, but it's also perfect for anyone who's just getting started. Plus, it's the one we were looking at the start of this video. I'd recommend using the same theme while following along with the tutorial, but you can always come back and change it again later if you like. That's one of the many awesome things about WordPress themes. We can swap them at any time without the risk of losing any of our content. It's just going to change the look and style of our site. Then if we don't like it, we can always change it back. So to find the Rocked theme that we're going to be using, we can simply type the word Rocked into the search bar in the top right. Then we can hover our mouse over the theme and click Install. WordPress will then automatically unpack and install the theme in a matter of seconds. And once it's installed, we just need to click Activate. And now when we visit our site by clicking our site title at the top, we'll see that the entire look of our site has changed and it's already looking much better. Now we haven't added any content to it yet, but it's still looking great. So now that we have it installed, we can start customizing the Rocked theme to make it our own. So to customize our theme, we just need to click Customize at the top. And this is going to open up our main theme options on the left, and we'll also see a live preview of our site on the right. Now, some of the options on the left might be a little different if you decided to use a different theme, but usually they'll be pretty self-explanatory, or you'll be able to figure them out with a little bit of trial and error. But for the Rocked theme, this is exactly what we need to do. So on the left hand side, if we click into the first box labeled General, we'll see it says Preloader Text. And basically this is a line of text that's going to appear when our site's loading something up. This is one of the only things I don't really like about this theme, so I'm just going to delete the text that says loading. But if you want the preloader text to appear, just type something into this box or leave it as it is. Then once we're done here, we can click Publish up at the top, and then click this back pointing arrow to go back to the list of options. Then underneath, if we click into Header area, we'll see a few other options in here as well. So we're just going to click into the first one labeled Site Branding, and this is where we can change our site title and tagline, and also add a logo if we have one. So if we look at the preview on the right hand side, we'll see our site title appears here at the top, and then the line of text underneath that says just another WordPress site, this is the tagline. To change our site title and tagline, we just need to change the text that's in these two boxes. So I'm going to change my site title to say Demo Site. And as we can see, my site title's already updated in the preview on the right. Then for my tagline, I'm going to change this to say Building WordPress with Marty. And personally, I think this looks much better already. Then if we're wanting to use a logo image instead of our site title and tagline, we can just click where it says Select Image on the left. Then we can click Select Files in the middle and search for the image on our computer. When we find it, we just need to click on it and click Open. And once it's been uploaded, we can click Choose Image in the bottom right. When we do this, we'll see it updates on the right hand side, and our site title and tagline have now been replaced with our logo. Then the last thing here on the left at the bottom is our site icon, which is the little icon that appears beside our site title in our internet browser. As we can see here, it says site icons should be square and at least 512 pixels by 512 pixels in size. Personally, I'd recommend using a free tool like canva.com to create your site icon and even your logo if you don't have one already. So we're just going to upload our site icon in the same way as our logo, and to do this we're going to click Select Image at the bottom, then Upload Files at the top, select Files in the middle, and then we can just search for the image file on our computer. When we find it, we just click on it and click Open. And once it's uploaded, we can click Select in the bottom right. And now if we look up at the top beside our site title, we'll see that our site icon is now showing up. And once we've added our site icon, we can just click Publish at the top, and then click the back pointing arrow to go back to the list of options. Now we're going to click into the next section labeled Header Type, and here we just want to make sure that Image is selected at the top and only Menu is selected at the bottom. This is going to make sure that our main banner here on the right only shows up on our home page and not the rest of our pages. But if you want the banner to appear on all of your pages, on the left hand side just select Image for both, and if we don't want the banner on any of our pages, we just need to select only Menu for both. Then we can click Publish up at the top to save our changes, and then click the back pointing arrow. Now if we click into the next section labelled Header Text, this is where we can change the text that appears in our main banner here on the right. So for my header title, which is where it currently says Ready to Rock, I'm going to change this to say Build a Website. Then for the text that appears underneath, which is called header text here on the left, I'm going to change this to say Learn how to build it yourself with WordPress in less than 60 minutes. And as we can see, it's updated in real time on the right. Then finally for my button text, I'm going to change this to say Start Building Now. Then underneath it says Button URL, and we're going to come back and link this button to one of our pages or posts later on in the tutorial, But for now we can just click Publish up at the top and then click the back pointing arrow to go back to the list of options. And now we're going to click into the next option, which is Menu Style, and here we can choose if we'd like our menu and header area to be sticky or static. So our header area is this white bit at the top where we've added our logo, and once we start adding some pages and create a menu, that's going to appear here in the blank space on the right. So by default our menu's set to sticky, which means if we scroll down the page, after a little while we'll see our header area comes back into view. Whereas if we set it to be static, we'll see that when we scroll down, our header area just acts like the rest of the page and scrolls out of view. So I'm going to keep mine as static, but if you want your header area to be sticky, just change it to sticky. Then under Menu Style, we can choose if we'd like our header area to be inline or centered. So if I change this to be centered, we'll see that my logo now goes into the middle, and if we had a menu at this point, the menu would be centered underneath the logo. Then if I change it back to inline, it's going to go back to the way it was. I'm just going to keep mine as inline myself, but really it's all just a matter of choice. Then once we're done here, we can click Publish up at the top, and then click the back pointing arrow. Now we're going to click into this next section called Header Image, and this is where we can change the image that appears in our banner behind our text and our button. So to do this, we just need to click Add New Image, then Upload Files at the top and select Files in the middle. Now we can search on our computer for the image, and when we find it, click on it and click Open. Then we just need to click Select and Crop in the bottom right, and we can either crop our image if it's pretty big, or if we don't want to, we can click Skip Cropping. Then we'll see that our image updates in the live preview on the right. Then here on the left hand side, under where it says Header Image Height, we can change the height of our banner. So for an example, if I change this from 600 to 400, we can see that the banner on the right hand side is now a lot shorter. I'm going to change this back to 600, but I just wanted to cover what this was. Then once we're finished here, we can just click Publish at the top, and then click the back pointing arrow. And as that was the last option in this list, we're just going to click the back pointing arrow again to go back to the main list. Now we're going to click into Blog Options, which is where we can change a few different aspects of our blog. Now some of this might not make a whole lot of sense right now, seeing as we haven't got our blog set up yet, but we can always come back and experiment with these options again later if we like. Personally, I recommend just leaving everything here as it is by default. So we want to make sure that blog layout is set to classic, and all of the other boxes here are left unchecked. If we do decide to change anything, we just need to click Publish at the top to save our changes, and then we can click the back pointing arrow to go back to the list. Then next in the list we have fonts, and we're going to skip this for now, but we'll come back to this once we've added some content to our site. Then we're also going to skip footer widgets and widgets down at the bottom for now as well, as there's an easier way to edit these which we'll cover later. So underneath footer widgets we have colors, and if we click in here, this is where we can change some of our website's main colors. The only color I'm really going to be changing here myself is the primary color, which is set to orange by default. But using these options, we can also change our menu background color, which is our header section at the top where our logo appears. We can change the background color of our site, our text colors, and basically anything else we might want to change. In this example, I'm going to change my primary color to a nice blue, and to do this we need to click Select Color, and then we just select a color here, or use one of the pre-selected options underneath. Then when we change any of our colors, we'll see that they update in the live preview on the right hand side. So we can see that the button in my main banner is now blue, and if we scroll down a little, we'll see that any links are now blue as well. So we can just mess around with any of the colors here on the left hand side that we like, until we get exactly what we're looking for. If we don't like one of the new colors that we've chosen, we just need to click Select Color again, and then we can click Default to bring it back to the way it was before. Then, once we're happy with our site colors, like always, we just need to click Publish up at the top to save our changes, and then click the back pointing arrow to go back to the list of options. Now we're going to click into the next option, which is labeled Background Image. I'm not going to be adding a background image myself, but if you'd like to add one, we just need to click Select Image, and then we can upload the image in the same way as our site icon and our logo. If we do upload a background image, we just need to click Publish at the top, and then click the back pointing arrow to go back to the list. Then next in the list we have Theme Info, and we're just going to skip over this as it's literally just some information about our theme. Then we can also skip menus for now as well, but we're going to come back to this later once we've added a few pages. Then finally, the last option in the list is Additional CSS. This is used for much more advanced web design, and we're going to skip over this. But if you understand how CSS works, it's just pasted in there. And now that we've finished customizing our theme, and we've made sure to publish our changes, we just need to click this X in the top left to close out of these options. And when we do this, we're going to see that all of our changes are now live on our site, and everything's starting to look much better than it did before. Now that we've got our theme customized and looking the way we want it, we can start adding some pages to our new website. But just before we do that, we're going to quickly install a free plugin onto our site, which is going to change the way we add pages and make the whole process a lot easier. So to install a plugin, we just need to click our site title at the top to go back to the dashboard. Then on the left hand side, we just need to hover over where it says Plugins and then click Add New. Here we can search through a bunch of different free plugins that we can install and use on our site. But for now, as we already know which plugin we're going to be installing, we just need to type the words Classic Editor into the search bar in the top right. When we do that, it's going to automatically search, and then we're going to install the first result by WordPress contributors. To install a plugin, we just need to click Install Now, and after a few seconds we can click Activate. And now that we've installed the Classic Editor plugin, we can move on to adding our pages. So to add a new page on WordPress, we just need to hover over where it says Pages in our left dashboard menu, and then click Add New. This is going to bring us to the main editor in WordPress, which is where we can create our different pages. Now this might look a little bit confusing at first, but it really doesn't take long getting used to it at all. For this example, the first page I'm going to be adding is an About page, which is where we can tell our visitors a little bit about ourselves and our website. So the first thing we're going to do when creating a new page is give it a title. And to do that, we just need to type whatever we're wanting to use into this box here at the top. So for me, this is going to be About Us. Then if we click into the larger box underneath, this is where we can add any content to our page. So we can just start typing whatever we want into this box. Or if we've already got something typed up, like I do, we just need to copy and paste it in. Then once we've added any text to our page, if we look at the top here, we'll see a bunch of different options, similar to something like Microsoft Word. If we only have one row of options, we can click the toolbar toggle icon on the far right to open up the second row. Then using these different settings, we can make our text bold and italics. We can also add bullet points. And a bunch of other things we'd normally find in any good text editor. If we have any subheadings in our text, like here, we just need to highlight them, and then we can use this drop-down menu to change the size of our heading text. So I'm just going to go through and change my different subheaders to be heading size 3. Then once we've added any subheadings, we can move on to adding some images to our page. So to add an image to our page, we first just need to figure out where we're wanting it to go. Say for this example, we wanted our image to appear before any of our text at the top of our page. We just need to click our mouse at the start of the first line of text and then hit return on our keyboard to take a new line. Then we just need to click into the new line we created and click the Add Media button at the top. Then, just like with the other images we uploaded earlier, we need to click Upload Files at the top, select Files in the middle, and then we can search on our computer for the image we're wanting to use. When we find our image, we just need to click on it and click Open. And once our image has been uploaded, on the right hand side, if we scroll down, we can change the alignment of our image, which I'm going to change to center, and we can also change the size of our image to a few different default sizes. So I'm going to make my image full size and centered, and once we've changed these options, we can click Insert into Page in the bottom right. Then when we do that, we're going to see a live preview of our image appears in the editor. Now if at any point during editing we want to see what our page is looking like so far, we can just click the preview button in the top right, and that's going to open up a live preview of our site in a new tab. Once we're happy with how our page is looking, or we know what we need to change, we can just close back out of the preview to get back to the editor. Now I'm just going to quickly repeat the same process again for a second image, which I'm going to add just below this subheading that says a bit about us. So to add our image, we just need to take a new line and then click the Add Media button at the top. Then we're going to click Upload Files at the top, select Files in the middle, and then we can search on our computer for the image. When we find it, we just need to click on it and click Open. And once it's been uploaded, on the right hand side we can choose our alignment and size. So I'm going to leave mine as full size and change the alignment to left. Once we're done with these options, we just need to click Insert into Page, and we'll see that our image appears in the editor. And we'll also see that because I aligned this image to the left, that the text wraps around the image. Once again, we can preview our page by clicking the preview button on the right hand side, just to make sure everything's looking good. Then once we're happy with it, we can just close out of the preview to go back to the editor. Then the last thing I want to cover here before we move on is how to add clickable links, which we can use to link to other pages on our site or things like our Facebook page or YouTube channel. So for this example, I've added 2 lines of text to the bottom of my About page, which I'm going to use for these links. One says click here to go back home, which I'm going to link to the home page of this site, and the other says or visit my YouTube channel, which I'm going to link to my YouTube channel. Obviously, you might be linking to different places, but the steps are going to be the same either way. So once we've added the text we're wanting to use for our link, we just need to open up the web page we're wanting to link to in a new tab so we can get the URL. And for me, that's the home page of this site. Then we just need to highlight, right-click and copy the page's URL, and then head back to the WordPress editor. Then to add our link, once we've got our URL copied, we just need to highlight the text we're wanting to use for our link, and then click this little icon at the top that looks like a chain link. Now we simply paste our copied URL into this box, and then hit return on our keyboard to add the link. At this point we'll see the text is now a different color, which means the link has been added. Then if we click the preview button on the right hand side to preview our page, we can click on our new link and it's going to bring us to the page we linked to. Now this is all well and good if we're linking to another page on our own website like I just did, but if we're linking to another website or blog, there's an extra step I recommend doing. So for my next link, I'm going to be linking to my YouTube channel, and just like before, we need to visit the web page we're wanting to link to and copy the URL. Then we can come back to the editor, highlight the text we're wanting to turn into a link, and then click the link icon at the top. Now we're going to paste the URL into this box, but as we're linking to another website, instead of hitting return on our keyboard to add the link, we're going to click this settings cog first. Then we can check the box labelled Open Link in a new tab and click Add Link. Now if we preview the page by clicking Preview on the right, If we click on our new link, it's going to open up the page we linked to, but in a new tab. This means that once our visitors are done with the link and close out of it, they're going to be brought straight back to our site where they left off. And obviously this is much better than losing them completely. Then we can just close the preview again once we've checked our links working. And that's basically all there is to show you when it comes to creating pages on WordPress. It really is super easy. Once we're finished adding any content we want on our page, we just need to click the Publish button on the right hand side and our new page will be live online. Or if we're not quite ready to publish it just yet, we can click Save Draft instead and then come back and publish it later. But once we hit Publish, we can click View Page at the top to visit our new page. We'll see that we have our text and images. We also have our different sized subheadings and clickable links, and anything else we decided to add. Just remember that we're going to be changing the fonts and font sizes later on in the tutorial, so don't worry if the writing looks a little small or you don't really like the look of it. And now that we know how to add pages, we just need to repeat the process for any other pages we're wanting on our website. So for my site, I've decided to add a contact page. And for this, I've just added an image and some text with my address and phone number. Then later on in this tutorial, we're going to cover how to add contact forms as well. And I'm going to add one to the bottom of this page. We could also have a services page if we offer services. And for this one, I've just added an image, text, and a few subheadings. We could add an FAQ page where we answer some frequently asked questions we get, or any other pages we think we might need for our new website. Then once we've added any main pages we need for our website, we can move on to adding some blog posts. Our posts are going to appear on our home page underneath our banner where it currently says Nothing Found. Now on WordPress, posts are pretty similar to pages, but with a couple of important differences, and they're used for different things. See, pages are used for things like our About page, our Contact page, and things like that. Basically the main pages that make up our site. Then posts on the other hand are more for things like sharing news or updates with our readers, or tips and tricks or tutorials, depending on the type of site we're creating. We also have a few other options available in the post editor as well that we don't have when adding pages, and we're going to go over what these are now. So to add a blog post, we simply need to click our site title at the top to go back to our dashboard. Then we can hover over where it says Posts on the left and click Add New. This is going to open up the post editor, which is basically the same as when adding pages. So we can give our post a title by typing it into this box at the top. Then we can just start typing any text we want on our post into this bigger box underneath. Or if you've already got it typed up like I do, we just need to paste it in. Just like with pages, we can also add any formatting that we like to our text. And we can also add larger subheadings as well. We can also add images in the same way by clicking the Add Media button at the top. And to save time, I'm just going to use one of the images I've already uploaded. We can also add clickable links in the same way if we need to, and basically do everything else we could when adding pages. But this is where it starts to get a bit different. If we look on the right hand side, we'll see it says Categories and Tags, and these are what we can use to help organize our different posts. Categories and tags can be a little confusing to understand at first, and might take a little too long to explain fully in this tutorial. So I'm just going to quickly cover how to add them, but I'll also leave a link in the description below for you to check out that explains the correct way to categorize and tag our different blog posts. Then once we know which categories and tags we're wanting to use, this is how to add them. So to add our post to a new category, we simply need to click Add New Category, type what we're wanting to use into this box, and then click the Add Category button. Or if we're going to use a category we created before, we'll be able to choose it here. But as this is our first post, we need to create a new one, or else it's going to be left as uncategorized. So for this example, as my blog post is about building a website with WordPress, I'm going to create a new category called WordPress Tutorials. Then underneath we can type any tags we want into this box, and then we just click the add button underneath to add them. So for this post I'm going to add build a website, WordPress, and web design. Then once we've added our categories and tags, we'll see underneath it says add a featured image, and this is the image that's going to appear in our list of posts on the home page. Now the featured image is optional, but I definitely recommend adding one where possible. Then to add it, we just need to click set featured image, and then like always we're going to click upload files at the top, select files in the middle, and then search for the image on our computer. Then we can click on the image and click open. Once the image has been uploaded, we just need to click set featured image in the bottom right, and we'll see that the image we chose is now visible in the editor. And that's basically everything there is to creating blog posts on WordPress. Once we're done adding our content, just like with pages, we can save our post as a draft if we're not quite ready to publish it yet. Or if it's finished, we just need to click the publish button on the right for our post to go live. Then once it's published, we can click view post at the top to see our new blog post. And when we do, we'll notice a few other things that make posts different from pages. Like we have our featured image that appears at the top above our post title, and under the title we see some different information like the publish date, author, and if we scroll down to the bottom we'll also see a comment section where our readers can leave a reply to our post or ask follow-up questions. Then if we visit our home page and scroll down, we'll see that our new post appears here along with the publish date, and it also shows our featured image. And now that we know how it's done, we can just repeat the process as many times as we like for any new blog posts we want to create. Now, it's unlikely that you have a bunch of pre-written blog posts ready to publish at this moment in time, but I just wanted to add a few to populate this site a little more for the tutorial. We don't even really need to have any blog posts before launching our site either. These can always come later, but I would maybe suggest trying to publish at least one, even if it's just to welcome people to the new site, and to make sure it doesn't say nothing found on our home page under the banner. And once we've published any pages and posts we're wanting to add to our website, we can move on to changing our fonts and font sizes, which is going to help us to customize our website even further. So to do this, we simply need to click where it says Customize at the top of our site to open up the theme options. And then we can click Fonts on the left. Then if we look on the left hand side, we'll see it says Body Font and Heading Font. So our heading font's going to be things like the main text on the banner on our home page, our site title if we aren't using a logo, our subheaders in our pages and posts, and things like that. Then our body font is basically going to be everything else. I personally like the default body font they've chosen here, so in this example I'm just going to change the heading font. But you can follow the same steps to change both of them if you like. So to change our font, we first need to open up a new tab in our internet browser and go to google.com/fonts. Then here we can search through the thousands of different free fonts that Google offer. When we find one we'd like to use, we just need to click on it and then click Select this font in the top right. Now we can click this black bar at the bottom to expand the options. Then we're going to click into the Customize tab and make sure that all of the boxes here are checked. Then once we do that, we can click back into the Embed tab. Now we need to highlight and copy the two codes from these two boxes and paste them into a Word document or text editor on our computer so we can edit them a little. Then for the first bit of code, we're going to click our mouse just after where it says family equals, and then delete everything that comes before that. Then we're going to click just before the first set of quotation marks near the end, and delete everything that comes after that. So we should be left with something that looks like this. Then for our second bit of code, we just need to delete the bit at the start that says font family and the 2 dots. Then once we've done this, we just need to highlight and copy what's left of our first line of code, and then head back to our site. If we're changing our body fonts, we're going to paste this code into the top box labeled body font name, or if we're changing our heading font like I'm doing, we're going to paste it into the box labeled heading font name. Once we've pasted it in, we just need to head back to our text editor and copy our second line of code. Then if we go back to our site, we can paste it into the box underneath where we pasted the first one. So if you're changing your body font, paste it into this box, or if you're changing your header font like I am, paste it into this box. When we do this, we'll see that our font is going to update right away in the live preview on the right. So as we can see in this example, my site's heading font has now changed to the new one, and I personally think it's looking much better. Then once we've added our new font, we can click Save and Publish at the top to save our changes. And if we wanted to change our site's body font, we just need to repeat the same steps, only pasting into the body fonts section instead. Although one thing I will say is be sure not to use the same font for both, as this is going to make our headers blend in instead of standing out like we want them to. Then once we have our fonts changed and we're happy with them, we also have the option to change our different font sizes underneath as well. So our site title and site description will only be if we're not using a logo. Then the H2 to H6 font sizes are the different subheading sizes we can add in the page and post editor. And then finally the body font size, and this is basically the main text on our pages and posts. So if we click into one of our pages in the preview on the right, we'll be able to see this a little better as we're working on it. Personally, I think the body font is a little bit small, so I'm going to change it on the left from 14 to 16, and when I do that, we can see it updates right away in the live preview on the right. Then as I used H3 headers on my pages, if I change the number in the H3 heading box to 35 instead of 30, we'll see that my subheadings get bigger as well. So we just need to play around with the numbers in these boxes until we get exactly what we're looking for, and when we're happy with our fonts and font sizes, we just need to click Publish at the top, and then the X in the top left to close out of these options. And now when we click around our different pages and posts, we'll see that our fonts and font sizes have all been updated, and our site's starting to look much more custom. Now if we look at the top of our site, you might have noticed that WordPress has been automatically adding all of our pages to the menu at the top, and they've been added in the order we published them. There's a good chance that we'd like them to be in a different order, and to do this we just need to create our own custom menu. So to create a menu on WordPress, we need to visit our dashboard by clicking our site title at the top, and then we can hover over Appearance on the left and click Menus. The first thing we need to do when creating a menu is give it a name, so I'm just going to type Main Menu into this box, and once we've given it a name, we can click Create Menu on the right. And now if we look on the left hand side of our screen, we'll see a list of different things we can add to our new menu. Things like pages, posts, and categories. So to add pages to our menu, we just need to make sure Pages is selected in the bottom left. Now we can change it from Most Recent to View All, and then go through and check the box beside any of the pages we're wanting to add to our menu. I'd also recommend checking the box beside Home, as this will add a link back to our home page. Then once we've added the pages we need, we can click the Add to Menu button underneath to add them to our menu. When we do this, we'll see the ones that we checked now appear in a list on the right hand side of our screen. We can also add posts to our menu in the same way, so we just need to click where it says Posts on the left, and change it from most recent to view all. Then we can check the box beside any posts we want to add to our menu and then click the Add to Menu button. Although personally I'm not going to be adding any posts to mine in this example, I just wanted to cover how it's done. Once we've added any pages and posts we want in our menu, we can change the order that they're going to appear in. And to do this, on the right hand side we simply click and drag our different pages and posts into the order we want them. With the order being anything we put to the top of the list will appear on the left side of our menu, and anything at the bottom of the list will appear on the right side of our menu. So I want the link to my home page to be at the start of my menu, so I'm going to leave it at the top of the list. Then I want my contact page to be at the end, so I'm going to drag it to the bottom. Then I'm going to put my services page in between my FAQ and my about page. If this was a real website I was creating, I'd maybe think about the order a little better, but I'm really just doing this for the example to show you how it's done. Then once we have our menu in the order we want it, we can also change how our page names appear in the menu without affecting the actual pages themselves. For this example, I'm going to change my frequently asked questions page to say FAQ instead, as I think it'll look much better. So to do this, we just need to click on the page or post to expand it, and then we can change the text under where it says navigation label to whatever we like. And for me, I'm going to change mine to say FAQ. Then once we have everything in our menu the way we want it, we can check this box at the bottom labelled Primary Menu, and that's going to assign it as our main menu. Then we just need to click the Save Menu button on the right to publish our new menu. Once it's published, we can visit our site by clicking our site title at the top, and we'll see that our menu's now been updated and our pages and posts appear in the order we chose. And now the only thing left to do is congratulate yourself because you've just successfully built your very own professional WordPress website and saved yourself about $1,000 in the process. And I really hope you're feeling good about it. So we have our homepage looking awesome with our banner and our call to action button linking to one of our pages or posts. Then if we scroll down on the homepage, we have a list of our different blog posts with featured images. Our sidebar is also looking great with any images, text, and anything else we decided to add. Then if we scroll back up, we have our custom menu with our different pages like our About page, where we have our text, images, clickable links, and whatever else we added. Then we also have a contact page with our form on it, so people can get in touch with us or ask questions. And without us needing to do anything else, our website's also 100% mobile friendly. So if we change the size of our browser window or visit our website on a mobile phone or tablet, it's basically guaranteed to always look amazing. And that's it, we're now at the end of this tutorial. Then once again, my name's Marty from letsbuildwp.com and thank you very much for watching my video.